Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm finally doing my African threading update video. This is basically an updated video of my routine for threading and trimming my natural hair. So I usually trim my hair about once a year. I never do more than once a year, and it's typically at the beginning of the year. So we're still in February. Today is the 3rd of February, so I'm going to be threading my hair. After my hair is a bit stretched out, I will proceed to trim off my end. And the method by which I trim my hair is threading. Some people go ahead to do a full silk press, that's straightening their hair with a blow dryer and then a flat iron before they trim, but I simply thread and then I trim off the excess I need to trim off after I thread. My hair is stretched out, so I'm going to be threading with yarn. I'm going to be threading with yarn or baby wool, and I have some old ones here. This is from I did a tutorial on the color of this hair or yarn, and I think it was box braids, so I did a tutorial. I'll try and link it in the description, but I'm going to be using this one. This is the remainder of from that hair. So the reason I'm deciding to use this is because I don't want to buy anything fresh, and it's long enough to carry the entire length of my hair. So I have this one and I have this one. This is also some leftover yarn, so I'm going to just use what I have here. I'm not using any new products. I already have a tutorial on yarn, on threading my hair using yarn. So this is basically similar to that video, and I'm going to be using what I have here. No need to buy new one. So I have the black and I have the, is it mustard? So I'm hoping the mustard is enough. It should be, because I'm going to be using like 2 strands of yarn per section, and I shouldn't have more than 8 sections. So I'm going to use that, and I'll just keep this one and see what happens. So if you want to thread your hair, you can do it on old hair or on fresh hair. My hair is, I rinsed my scalp yesterday, so it was just me pouring water and using a little shampoo to just cleanse my scalp a little. So I'm just going to take this down, and then I'm going to proceed to start threading. Also, my hair is moisturized, so if you're going to be doing this, I'm not going to be using any product at all because it's well oiled and everything that it needs to be. So if you're going to be doing this, and if you're going to be using yarn, you want to make sure that your hair is properly and thoroughly moisturized, because yarn is basically a fabric since it's wool, and it tends to make your hair dry since it's cloth. So my hair is moisturized, and I'm just going to be carrying this threading for less than 24 hours. So if you are going to be wearing it as a protective style, unless you're trying to be creative, you don't need to use colored yarn, so you can just use black and have it threaded properly. For reference, you can see my first video, link in the description. I'll start by sectioning my hair into 2. So I finished combing out my section. As you can see, I'm going in with my yarn, and I'm using just 2 strings to thread my hair. So like I said earlier, the yarn is quite long. It's about more than double the actual length of my hair. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap the yarn around this section, and I'll do the same for every other section. So I'm just wrapping the yarn around the section starting from my scalp, and I'm making sure that the wrap is firm but not tight, so that I'm comfortable wearing this for the period of time I'll be wearing it for. And afterwards, I'll just go ahead and continue wrapping the yarn around the section of hair all the way to the end. And typically when I use more than 2 strings of yarn, I go ahead and make sure that every single piece or every single space of hair is covered. But for some reason today I decided not to worry about covering every part of my hair. As you can see, the black of my hair is showing through the color of this yarn, so I simply went ahead and just stretched out my hair. How to stretch out your hair while you thread is simply pull out your hair as you thread and then go ahead to wrap your yarn or your thread, whatever you're using to stretch your hair, go ahead and wrap it around the section. So hold out the section, pull it out a little bit, and then go ahead and wrap your yarn around. Pulling it out is going to make sure that you get the most stretch out of the section. So yeah, that's the process. So I went ahead to thread the entire length of my hair for this section, and then I'm using smaller teeth or smaller tooth combs to comb as I get towards the end to make sure that I comb out every triangle as much as possible. And then when I got to the end, when it was time to knot, I actually left out some hair, about half an inch of hair, which is what I use to start off my trim. It's the next day and I'm about to take down the threading and proceed to trim my hair. Like I said yesterday, I ended up doing the same thing I did for this side to this side. So I threaded my entire head and then I just wrapped everything up and retired for the day. So this is how long my hair has gotten. Previously when I threaded, it didn't always get up to this point, so I'm just going to take this off. So I'm about to start taking off my dead ends, my split ends, and my single strand knot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off about an inch of hair, an inch to 1.5 inches. So I just started by cutting off above the knot I tied at the end of each section. So that there was about 0.5 inches of hair. So after I did that, I went ahead to unravel each section, take out all of the thread, and then proceeded to dust off my ends once again. So I took out about an inch of hair from each section in total. I went ahead to apply a little bit of oil to my palms just to apply that to the section, to loosen up the sections. I just want to point out that since I'm doing this myself, and if you're going to be doing this yourself, it's going to be slightly more difficult than if you have somebody else do it for you. I just pulled out the section of hair all the way to the end. I dragged it out to straighten it as much as possible, and then I held the ends of that section between two fingers and just took out the unwanted ends. So I have a mirror down below where I can see what I'm doing, so I don't take off too much hair. And as I pulled out the section of hair, I tried to keep it as centralized as possible, so that when I took off the unwanted ends, it wasn't too much to one direction, but it was just in the right place. So this is the amount of hair that I took out from the first section, like I said, 1 inch, and afterwards I proceeded to twist up the section and then just slightly dust off the ends to take out any visible single strand knots, and I proceeded to do the same thing, the exact same thing, for the rest of my hair. This is all the hair that I trimmed off, and typically the ends of your hair, when trimmed off, they are kind of a little more coarse than the rest of your hair. So I'm simply going to go ahead and comb my hair out now, and that's about it for this video.